Hi, this is Dr. Rod. I'd like to take a little break today and talk to you what it's like to be married to somebody from another culture. When I was 18 years old, the United States Air Force sent me overseas to a Han Air Base, a base that stood against the USSR aggression and threatened with nuclear weapons. And I was a security police officer guarding nuclear weapons. And the base was really crowded. It was really growing due to the USSR aggression that was going on. And so they paid us to move off base. And I moved across the street from this young lady, Maria Gabriela, and got to know her family. And I want to share some of the things that I learned that's awesome and challenging about the Germans and the German culture. Fell in love with Germany, fell in love with the people, and got to get on the inside, being family that I had, was well accepted, especially after a couple of beers, and learned the language enough to conversate, not fluently, but conversate. And so I really enjoyed the history. The food is amazing. Jaeger Schnitzel is one of my favorite. It's a pork steak with mushrooms, French fries with mayonnaise. Didn't like it at first. Currywurst, which is a form of hot dog with some curry ketchup on it. It's just really good. The Germans are a stoic people as a whole. They're very proud. They're very disciplined. It's amazing. I got to work a couple of times with German soldiers, and I would not want to fight them. They were just unbelievable. Their weapons were unbelievable. Their training was very, very real. And so it's interesting to be a U.S. soldier and to train with the Germans. That was a lot of fun. We drank beer afterwards. I love their beer. I really don't care for beer per se, but man, love the beer. Gabi, my wife, lived in the Rhine-Mosel area and loved the castles. Oh my goodness. It is such a beautiful country. The vineyards, the wine, very, very good wine. And just also to be with Gabi's uncles who fought in World War II. One of her uncle was in a tank that was bazookaed by an American, had the side of his face burned. Two of her uncles had pieces of metal, American metal, that they told me about every time I saw them in them. And they all swore no Heil Hitler in that aspect. Yet a couple of beers, and I asked one of them one time, why? What happened? Said starvation. Our kids were starving. The French were taken advantage, especially this part, the Hunsrück area, was being taken advantage by the French. And this Austrian guy, not a German, an Austrian guy came in and talked funny, looked funny. But next thing you know, everybody had a job. Everybody had a job. And there was food on the table. And so that was fascinating to see that a nation could be put to a point of desperation where you choose somebody that you don't necessarily like, because everybody feared him. Gabi's mom talked about how the handicapped children disappeared first, and handicapped people, and then the letters were sent out saying there was an accident, something happened, the child was accidentally killed, and you knew it wasn't, and you knew it was a gas chamber. So that was sad. That was to learn that and to see how they handled it. There's a part of the German national song. It's illegal. It's against the law to sing. Gabi and I were at a fest one time, and Gabi started singing that part, and they shut her down and said because of the socialist party that of Nazi Germany, they were not allowed to sing that. So the castles, the travel, Neuschwanstein, which Walt Disney's castle was built after, is beautiful, stunning in just the countryside. The people are very resilient. My wife is very resilient, her family in that aspect, and again, hard workers. So just wanted to share a little bit of what I enjoyed about Germany. Somebody asked me the other day, what do I miss about Texas? So that'll be the next fun one that I do, is there's so much I miss about Texas, and still very proud to call myself a Texan. because of what Texas stands for. All right, guys. Love you all.